over the past year and a half, I've been busy combining and curating all of the content from what I believe is the most valuable things that I've learned in all facets of trading, that being spot trading, that being derivatives trading, that being, of course, options trading, even trading psychology into one program, which will now be known as the Krown's Trading Bible, which you can find in the teachable link in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube, of course. And that'll bring you to this page right here. And I want to take a quick second to explain what this is, what to expect, who this is for, who this is not for. And let's actually just start off with that. Who is this not for? This is really not for people who are, just kind of looking to diddle-daddle into these sort of realms. It's really much too intensive for people like that. Realistically, very, 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 very few people should really be getting into this because, one, very few people, really even probably want to do trading in a more consistent and professional manner. And then two, very few people actually have the capacity to do this as well. And I say this with the most humble measure as possible because I understand that can be, a bit of a loaded statement, but hey, that's what I found to be true. If you're not that person, if you're not fully in, this is not going to be for you. It really does require a lot of effort on your own behalf. But this is effectively the program that I want to incorporate all of my stuff in. So that is why I've essentially consolidated all of my prior programs and added some new twists to it as well to make the Krown's Trading Bible. And as the name would suggest, it is everything, literally everything, and everything that I will learn in the future as well. So I will be adding more and more content, particular to long-term investing as I get more experienced in that realm. But I consider myself a little bit too novice at this moment in time with only 6 years behind me for that. But anyways, for the content in and of itself, it has everything that I believe is valuable in classical technical analysis, everything that I believe is valuable in derivatives trading, everything that I believe is valuable in quantitative analysis and quantitative trading principles and strategies. It has everything that I believe is valuable, especially in options, which is my personal favorite because that is where I come from. If you didn't know, I used to be a market maker, authorized trader with the Series 56 on the floor of New York Stock Exchange ARCA, basically, trading equity options. Very, very fun time, and unfortunately, it is not as liquid as we will hope it will get in the crypto space going onwards and forwards. But of course, if you are in traditional market land, this will be very much appropriate for you, and all of these principles can be applied to different markets. The underlying theme of what makes all of this work is essentially consistent in all major markets using these principles, and I really want to focus on that. So again, this is a long program, very, very long. Even the options, like just the options content in and of itself is going to run you, I would imagine, 30, maybe even close to 40 hours. And that's just for options, not including the classical TA, not including the quantitative TA and trading, and then also, of course, the trading psychology. So depending on which exactly, which sphere you really want to focus on, this is going to require a lot of effort on your own behalf. So you have to have the time to be able to invest in it in order to get something out. So I really want to make sure that only the right people are getting into this because otherwise you're just wasting your time and your money as well. And that's not what I'm here to do. Look, in terms of money, I'm good. I don't need any extra funds in that way. I really just want this for the people who can actually benefit from it, who are really trying to do this at a high level. And understand that realistically, even for the people who are really, really into it and really giving it their all, this is still a long-term effort. Realistically, I've noticed now from the past 7 or 8 years from being on YouTube and having my initial programs that for the people who, really are going to get there, this is a long journey, usually around 1.5 years to 2 years. Yes, there's some freaks who I have met that have gotten there really quickly within like 6 months, consistently profitable and very, very impressive. But these are the exceptions to the rules. And there's also many people who never get there at all. Again, it comes down to effort. It comes down to, are you that type of person, to be quite honest? Because not everyone is, and that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, I totally invite everyone to check out my free content on YouTube. It's probably going to be the appropriate level for about 99% of people viewing this. Now, I do want to let you know that I wanted to make this more attainable to just a general population in terms of the pricing for it. So we offered up a payment plan, which I believe is going to be a lot more pressure off, and you can kind of treat it as if it was a college course in a way. At least that's the way that I was kind of thinking of when I was pricing this, in that I want something that I could have taken in college that I wouldn't have actually fucking wasted my time with, to be honest. But hey, that's another topic for another video, perhaps. And I want to make it attainable to people, of that age, because Honestly, it is best to learn when you are younger. Now, if you're older, yes, you can still overcome these things, but it will be an obstacle. It will be a challenge. And I want to be super, super, super transparent about that. Because like I said, it is not for everyone. It is difficult. It is a very, very difficult life. Like I said, realistically, it's less than 1% of the craziest people in this population who probably are appropriately pursuing this as a career, but fair enough. Anyways, focusing now back on the content. Like I said, it is going to incorporate all of the valuable aspects of all of the most important and different spheres of trading that I have experience in at this moment in time. And I will add more in the future as well as I become and have different, and new revelations as to, as to what is valuable. This program will also include many live trades, both in futures trading and spot trading and options trading. Spot and futures very similar there, to be fair, showcasing the strategies. So not just going over the theory of, strategy creation and strategy testing, but also how to actually implement the strategy and then execute on that strategy, because all of these different facets really do matter. And I think it's important to see this from start to finish. So I show these trades from literal start to finish, no editing, no nothing like this, and you can see how it operates. When issues occur, like when something unexpected happens, these sort of things are all included, all warts and all. That's really the purpose of it. And then, like I said, there is trading psychology as well. Really, the focus there is to implement the right sort of psychology in your own brain to learn how to adopt the proper sort of mindset that facilitates successful trading over a long period of time, because it does come down to your identity and how you view yourself. And I've found actually a lot of value in learning that sphere of things. In fact, even maybe a little bit before I got into trading, and then applying that to trading really did help. And honestly, it really is a holistic process in that regard. So there it is. This is the Krown's Trading Bible. This is effectively all of my life's work just combined into one compact program. I don't want to have billions of different a couple different programs, running around. I want everything in one place, a legacy project. This is where I'll continue to put everything in the future. And yes, of course, if you were in any one of my informational programs from before, we will absolutely give you a massive discount to account for that if you decide to go with this as well. But understand that if you are, only interested in technical analysis and you are formerly in the TA program, you don't necessarily need to get into something like this. You're not going to get all that much from it, unless if you want the other sort of spheres of trading as well. If you don't, then hey, probably not a good fit, and that's all good. Anyways, I'll end things right there. Again, you can find this in the Teachable link in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube. Of course, if you're already here on Teachable, then you already figured that one out. I invite you also to look at all of the reviews. There are several here on the Teachable page and many, many more as well, which you can find through the links. And I'll end things on that note. As always, take care, much love, and see you hopefully next time.